Hello everybody, this is Ellen. I'm coming to you live from my kitchen. I am making chili tonight and with whatever I have in my kitchen. So whatever canned goods I had in my pantry and meat I had in my freezer that I thawed, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm putting together chili using my awesome quick cooker. Okay, so for those of you that have the quick cooker, this is another recipe that you can do, and keep in mind this is just my own recipe. I'm throwing some things together. However way you have and prepared your chili, then you just stay with yours. But I want to give you some ideas because some people are wondering how would you prepare a recipe when you actually need to brown the meat. So I'm going to show you. First, of course, plug in your quick cooker. You're going to hear that beep, okay? Then you want to take the lid off. Before you even get started, this is what I recommend. Always, always prepare your lid, okay? So when you use this as the pressure cooker, the handle right here, make sure this button right here is flush to the handle. And then there is an icon. Make sure this icon is facing the button, okay? This is going to steer the direction of the steam. So you want to make sure it's in the correct direction. So that's it. Two things you just want to make sure before you actually start anything, okay? Because this is the step, if you don't take care of it now, so easy to forget. Okay, so I'm going to set this to the side because that's ready to go. Right away, I'm going to set my quick cooker to sear, okay, because I want to brown the meat first. So I'm going to set it to sear by turning the dial right here. The first thing that lights up is the word sear in the rectangle box. Now, for those of you that don't have the quick cooker, I highly encourage you to invest in this power tool. This right here will make your life so easy. Everything goes so fast, and you can prepare so many things in this wonderful vessel, okay? So I have it on sear. I'm gonna hit start because the quick cooker gives you about 20 minutes to sear, fry, brown, cook, whatever you need. And then after that, it kind of just stops. I mean, it doesn't really stop, but the actual heating element does stop for the actual searing part, okay? So I'm gonna add some oil in here, and you can add olive oil, you can add vegetable oil, whatever you like to use. But I have here our garlic infused canola oil, okay, Pampered Chef. So I'm gonna drop about 2 tablespoons. Okay, that's so that I can give the meats a little head start in there because I don't want it to just stick right away. I want it to kind of blend, okay? So I'm gonna let that come to temperature. It usually takes about 2 or 3 minutes for it to be nice and hot. And then you can go ahead and add whatever it is. Today I have about a pound of ground beef, and then I have I had some boneless pork chops, some really thick ones. So all I did was I took 2 pork chops and then I pretty much cubed it, okay? And then I'm gonna add both meats into the chili. I mix it up a lot of times. If you don't have pork, then I love to put steak in here. Sirloin, if you have beef stew meat, that's wonderful. I like to add more than one type of meat in here because it really adds to the flavor, and it creates different textures in there, okay? So the thing about chili is sometimes people get bored of it. I mean, basically meat and beans. Well, my family's a little picky, so, well, they are and they're not. My daughter doesn't really like too much beans in the chili, so I'm not going to put a whole lot. You'll see that in a little bit. But as far as meat goes, I like to mix it up a little bit, okay? So it's getting really nice and hot in here. So I'm going to go ahead and throw my ground beef in here, okay? And you can hear it sizzling. It didn't take long to come to the temperature. Okay. Before I add my pork, I'm going to use my mix and chop. I'm going to break apart the ground beef because right now it's just in clumps. So the mix and chop is a fabulous tool to do just that, to break apart your meats in here. And it by breaking it apart, it cooks faster. Okay. Okay. So I'm just gonna let that sit in there for just a little bit. Okay. Wash my hands. All right. Now, you'll hear me say this a lot on my videos. You want to make sure you prep all of your ingredients first before you put everything together, because well, you want to make sure that you have everything. Okay, you got to make sure that you have everything for your recipe, because the most frustrating thing is you go to make it and then you find you're missing 1 or 2 ingredients, and now you don't want to complete it. So make sure you have everything ready. In front of me, you can't see everything, but I do have everything prepped out. Okay. If you're not aware yet, 65% of your time in the kitchen is spent on prep work. And if you get the prep work done, the actual cooking itself is really only minutes. It does not take a whole lot of time. Okay. So, okay, the ground beef is looking really good. Okay, at this point, I'm going to throw the cubed pork in, and it's not a whole lot. I just took 2 pork chops, and then I cubed it. Okay, so it kind of looks like this, if you can see. I cubed it. All right. I just want to also let you know that what I'm doing in the searing process here is I'm giving this recipe a jump start, okay? Because you can, if you wanted to, you could put everything raw, put all your chili ingredients in, and then go ahead and set it in. The reason why I don't do that is because I really want the meat to cook separate. I want to strain the liquid, the grease out, and then go ahead and put everything together, okay? So that's just a matter of preference on how I use my quick cooker. You will find your shortcuts. You will find your level of comfort as far as what works for you and what doesn't. And so that's why I actually sear my meat before I throw everything together, okay? I'm gonna use this to kind of stir it around now because it's getting nice and brown. Okay. While making this chili, you can use a packet of seasoning if you want. I didn't have a packet of seasoning, so I just kind of threw together some seasonings that I tend to use when I make chili. And it's just a mixture right here. It's just a mixture of like paprika, chili powder. I even put some crushed red pepper, some cumin, some onion powder, garlic powder, and yeah, so that's pretty much all I have in here. There is some garlic salt as well too. So, and they're all dry ingredients. And then it's about, I would say about not quite a half a cup, maybe like a quarter cup of seasoning in here. To make things easier for yourself, if you just buy the packet, the chili packet, that's totally fine. Just rip it apart and throw it in, okay, when you're ready. Okay. Okay, everything is all brown, ready to go. There's really not a whole lot of grease in here, so I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop the searing process, okay? And all you do is you just hit cancel. And when you hit cancel, it literally cancels the searing process. Now, when you remove it, it's hot, okay? So don't use your bare hands to remove the inner pot. Let me grab my mix. Okay, I have here the scoop and drain. Okay, this is a real nifty tool to have, and what you can do is just scoop out. And I like doing this because I don't know if you can see, but the oil is dripping from here. So I'm just kind of removing it from the pot, scoop at a time, and then I'm putting it in a separate bowl. Because what I'm going to do then is I'm going to remove the pot and then empty it out. Okay. This is really good. The scoop and drain is real good if you're doing pasta. Because if you're doing pasta, you can do the same thing. You just scoop it out. Okay. And let's see. I got probably 3 more scoops to go. You know, I didn't think that there was a lot of liquid in there. There is. Usually there is. And at first I thought, oh, not a whole lot of grease or liquid in there, but there is. Now, if you prefer to make your chili with the oil in here, then that's totally fine. A lot of people think it flavors their chili. That's the special part of their chili, the secret sauce. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside right here. When you remove the inner pot, please make sure you use oven mitts. These are microwave grips, okay? So I'm just going to take it out and empty. That's it. Then I'm going to replace it, okay? Put this to the side. Okay, so now I'm going to put everything in. So I'm going to take my meat. Now keep in mind, I canceled everything, so it's not really, it hasn't started. The blue light just says it's plugged in. That's all it says, okay? So I've got my meat in here. Now comes my ingredients, okay? So I have basically 1 can of red kidney beans. I did strain it. If you want to just pour it in with the juice and everything, that's your call, okay? This is equal to about 2 cans of diced tomatoes right here. You can use tomato sauce. Again, I just used whatever was in my pantry. I didn't want to run to the store. It was just not one of those days, okay? And then I have my seasoning. This is about 1/4 cup of chili spices that I kind of put together. And I put that in. Okay? I'm going to give it a good stir right here. Man, it looks like it's ready to go. Okay. And I'm going to put the lid on. When you put your lid on, you actually have to angle it, okay? It doesn't go straight on. So you have to tilt it a little bit to the right of the front. And then you're going to twist it. When you hear that cute little beeping noise, that's when you know it's secured, okay? Now we're going to go back to our dial. And we're going to turn the dial until it gets to stew/chili, okay? So I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's right here, the blue light. And it's going to keep moving. It's going to shift 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It was on the 13th setting, okay? The blue light highlights where it's at. And right now it says stew and chili. The timer already defaults to 40 minutes when it's on this setting. And then all you have to do, press start, and that's it. That is all you do, okay? So you press start. Just like your oven, the oven needs to preheat before the oven actually sets the temperature. The pressure cooker needs to do the same thing. It needs to come to pressure, and then you're gonna see the timer display 40 minutes, and then it'll count down, okay? Once 40 minutes clears, it's going to go into its natural steam release, or you can manually release the steam by pushing the button and all the steam will come out. So totally up to you. If you want to delay the cooking,